Alright, look what I got over here. So this got delivered to me a bit over a month ago, and yeah, boy was I missing out. So this case over here contains the C100. This is the packaging that it comes with. The C100 is basically an RGB LED light from Zhiyun. I don't know exactly the correct pronunciation. Oh my god, I look like a UFC champion holding his belt or something. Anyways, and in the very own words of Zhiyun, for the first time in the industry, the C100 packs the 100 watt RGB light output of a traditional 2-meter RGB light bar into a compact, handheld form factor. So we basically get 100 watts power in terms of RGB and also in terms of by color use. So let's put this thing down and let's talk about it. So Zhiyun contacted me about 1.5 months ago or something like that, and they told me about the release of the new C100 over here, and they asked me if I wanted to try it out, and of course I wanted to try out because I love lights, especially now that I'm into weddings. I'm always trying to learn new techniques in order to light up my subjects and all kind of stuff. And since I've been doing weddings, the thing that I love the most are lights that don't need any cables, which I can use easily left and right, and yeah, basically move them all over the place. So me and my team used the C100 in 3 weddings. We used it for video, photo, and everything in between basically. And I also did a portrait shoot during the nighttime over here in the streets of Athens in various locations, so we can get a better understanding of how it works, if it's portable, if it's suitable for portrait work and all that good stuff. But before I show you all this, let's take a look on what's inside the box over here that it comes with. This case is really useful in order for me to transport the light and all its accessories left and right. I basically throw it in my car and yeah, I call it a day. And by the way, for anyone that wants to skip in different parts of the video, there are going to be timestamps down below. So if you don't care about the unboxing and all the accessories and you just want to see the light in action, you can do that easily. But let's continue on. So if I unbox it over here, on the inside we can see many different things. First and foremost, over here we get a DC charging cable. These are regular cables in order for you to give power to your light. This light also charges via USB-C, which is really helpful, but it's the norm, I think, for today's standards. You can charge and operate the light at the same time, which is really useful. And about the built-in battery, you get about 55-54 minutes while using it at 100%. I personally never use it at 100%, like even in dark situations on my weddings or in the dark city of Athens during the night portrait shoot, I never even got close to 100% power. So yeah, the battery life is more than enough for most use cases. But even the 54 minutes for 100% of the power is, I think, more than enough for most situations. But again, if you run out of battery, you can always use it on an outlet and let it charge at the same time. But if you eventually run out of battery, you will need about 3 hours, I think, to charge it from 0 to 100. So yeah, keep this in mind. We also get many modifiers over here in that packaging. So over here is my personal favorite, which is the diffuser. I always basically have it on this light because it softens up the light, it makes it more dreamy, and this light over here is powerful. And I don't want to blind my clients, I don't want to blind my couples, I don't want to blind my models. That's why I use the diffuser over here all the freaking time. And we also get these grids over here. I think they're called grids, are they? I'm pretty sure they're called grids. And what these do, they basically help to split the light even further into a room, and at the same time you also soften up the shadows a little bit. So yeah, you can use a bunch of modifiers over here in order to shape the light the way you want, but personally I only use the diffuser. Another thing that we have inside here is basically a light clamp. This is really useful if you want to rig these lights out on a C-stand, let's say, or you can even use it if you want to place the light horizontally on a tripod or on a light stand. It's really well made. Props to you. And last but not least, we get the light over here. So the light itself is inside here. These are the barn doors that helps us modify the light even more. In the inside you get small reflectors which help bounce the light left and right. So yeah, you can really use it the way that you want to. Also on these barn doors over here, you basically install the modifiers like the diffuser and the grids that I showed you earlier. And if you don't like the barn doors, you can always take them off. Just like that. So this is the light itself. So this is the bar itself. This over here feels premium. Like I've used many different LED bars, and this is the one that feels so well made. Over here on the left and on the right, we got different fans in order to get it to not overheat. On the side over here, we get two control dials, one's to adjust and one's to select. On the front over here, we get a really nice screen in order to see all the settings, the modes and all that kind of stuff. With the button over here, you switch in and out of all these different modes, and you also have an on and off button. And over here on the side, you can basically charge it via the USB-C and also via the DC cable. And one really underrated feature is the fact that we get two screw holes over here, one on the top and one on the bottom, in order for us to mount it the way we want on tripods, on light stands, and you can also combine it into a 4 light array in order to create an ultra high power panel light. So yeah, if that's the thing that you want to do, you can easily do that. The weight itself is 1.3 kilograms or something like that, so it's not as lightweight as some other cheaper and smaller light bars, but it's really easily hand holdable for many different scenarios. You will see later on that on some video clips or in some portrait shoots that we used it handheld in order to quickly change the corner that we wanted to light. So yeah, in terms of the build quality, if I didn't make it clear, this is top notch. And if we connect it with these barn doors over here and with the modifiers and the diffusers, then we have a really nice kit. Let's also quickly talk about the different modes, which are really important, and there are so many of them. So in order to turn this thing on, you need to press once the power button and press it fully afterwards. Let's lower it down, holy shit. So we basically have the bicolor section over here, which we can easily make it cooler or warmer, as you can see. The next mode is the HSI mode, which is really nice. We can do lots of different things over here with different colors and all kind of stuff. Really precise lights, really precise colors over here. Beautiful. Another mode is the RGB, which you can play around even more with the colors. You can do whatever you like over here. Green is also really nice. The next mode is called FX Pixel, and inside that mode you have so many different effects. Like you get the rainbow effect over here, you get the 3 chase effect, which is crazy, you get the 2 chase effect, which is also really nice, 1 chase, the color cycle, which cycles between colors, color fade, and you can also fine-tune all these different effects even more. The next mode is the effects mode, which contains even more effects. We get the CCT loop, we get the CCT pulse over here, we get the hue loop, we get the hue pulse, we get the hue flash, come on, we get the disco, which is also really nice, we get the firework, do it, boom, we get the police car, of course we get the police car, and we get the CCT flash, we get the paparazzi flashes, we get the bad blue, what is this? Oh no, bad bulb. Oh, yeah, it makes basically a broken bulb effect. Okay, the candle effect, which is really nice. Lighting, of course. The TV, SOS, beautiful. So yeah, we get all these different special effects inside this light bar over here. And the most gimmicky is the last mode, which is the music mode, which basically every time it hears something, it flashes up. So yeah, check this out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So basically every time I speak, it keeps flashing. Like it has a speaker over here, which, as you can see, it can hear stuff. And it fucking plays colors when you speak on it. So yeah, that's... I never had the light doing something like this. So yeah, this is really crazy. I will turn it off right now so we can speak properly. Oh my god, I'm having the time of my life over here. Anyways, and since we went through all over the packaging, the build quality, the effects and all that good stuff, let's now talk about the all important usability. Let's see a few images, let's see a few photos and talk about how we used it on the field in professional situations like weddings, how useful it was in the portrait shoot, how easy it was to use in the portrait shoot. And since I'm talking about the portrait shoot, let's begin with that one and leave the weddings for the end. So basically it was an easy night out in downtown Athens. I had my friend Caroline pose for me. She did an amazing job, as you can see from all these images. We tried many different locations in order to get a bigger variety of images. I had the C100 on a tripod with a diffuser and I was using only the bicolor mode, and as you can see, we did an amazing job. The portraits came out beautiful. By the way, I was using my Nikon Z5 with the Viltrox 85mm, and if I remember correctly, I also used the Nikon 40mm f2 for some images. Like I mentioned earlier, we went through many different locations, and yeah, the battery was about 50% when we finished the whole photo shoot. So yeah, carrying a light with you which is that powerful and not having to worry about any cables, any outlets and all that kind of stuff, this is such a big lifesaver. Like obviously there are more lights out there which exist that don't need any cables in order to shoot with. I also use the Molus X100 from Zhiyun as well, which is a really nice light, but personally I will keep these lights as backup for now, and I will invest on a second C100 RGB light bar over here in order to have two in my arsenal and fill every possible corner with the same light. Alright, let's talk about how I used this light over here on my wedding days. First and foremost, it's perfect for the preparation for the groom and the bride. On these preparations, I mostly used it handheld in order to shape the light the way that I want to. In these situations, I don't always have the time in order to set up a light on a tripod, on a softbox and all that kind of stuff and use it all around the different rooms in order to get the preferred light. So just by having this one over here handheld or having someone else hold it, it just makes everything run really smoothly. This light over here is also perfect for inside the church. If you have two of these, you have one on the left and one on the right, and basically you fill up the whole space, or at least the space that you want, with the preferred amount of light. The battery life is more than enough to cover every ceremony. Most weddings last about 30 minutes or something like that, but even if they last even longer, 40 or 50 minutes, you are covered, because chances are that you're not going to be using this light at 100% power. So yeah, you will be just fine. I personally didn't have any battery problems, so I don't see why you would have any battery problems. And let's just say that you forgot to charge it or something like that, you can always use an outlet that you will find in the inside of the church, or simply use a power bank or something like that, and yeah, squeeze enough battery out of your light. And it's also perfect for later on at the party, especially if you are in a really large space and you need to have light everywhere with you, like in this situation over here where my videographer John wanted to get a shot of all these gentlemen over here in front of the pool. So all I did is I moved my C100 close to him and we used it in order to spread the light on top of their faces. I had it on the corner, so we created a little bit of a shadow because I think that it matched the video clip a lot. But yeah, imagine having to move a big light with all these different cables and having to light a scenery like that. In these situations, people want to have fun, they are there to have the time of their lives, and they cannot wait for you to set up a light with a softbox or find an outlet or something like that. You simply don't have the time for the stuff, or the people will start getting annoyed, you know. So yeah, we need to move fast, and the C100 really helps me by moving around really quickly and light up different scenarios all the time with different angles and all that good stuff. And a few days ago we had a huge wedding in a Greek island. This was my very first wedding on a Greek island. The images turned out great. The video turned out great. Obviously we don't have the final versions out, but I edited something just for the sake of this video over here. And in case you don't know, Greece is a really warm country, so most of the weddings happen later during the day. So after the ceremony ends, you have just a little bit of light in order to capture some portraits here and there, but after about 15 or 20 minutes, the light is gone. The sun is down, and yeah, you don't have any natural light in order to light up your subjects. So in this case over here, we used the C100 over here and the Molus X100 in order to light up our subjects. As you can see from all these portraits over here, the C100 was such a big lifesaver because, like I said again, at the places where we were shooting these portraits, we don't had any outlets. We also didn't have the time to set up these traditional big lights, so we either had the C100 on a tripod or we simply used it handheld again and again. And like I said earlier, we also paired it up with the Molus X100, which we used mostly as a fill light or maybe as a backlight for our subjects. And lastly, we also use these lights on the dance floor. I had the C100 over here on the darker side of the dance floor acting as a key light, and I also had again the Molus X100 on the other side, basically spilling a little bit more light onto our subjects. I had the white balance exactly the same on both of these lights, and the results were just once again amazing. Like, yeah, I'm really happy with the videos that we got. I'm really happy with the pictures that we got. Our clients are really happy with these images, which is everything that concerns me personally. Like, if they're happy, I'm happy. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just want to invest in one more C100 in order to complete my setup and have the Molus in the back just in case I need it for something. Some other things that you can do with the C100 over here is basically, like I said earlier, use it on a 4 light array to create a really high power panel light. You can also control the light via your phone with an app, but I personally don't do that. I just prefer to do it on my own. But if you want to control it from far away, you can do that. And like I said earlier, this light over here is 100 watts bicolor and 100 watts RGB, which is, yeah, it's really crazy. And last but not least, we also have to talk about a few negatives. And yeah, to be completely honest, I don't have any negatives except for one. And this is an imaginary negative because I had to come up with something. I cannot just say good things and yeah, not say anything negative. And the only negative that I can think of is that because the battery is built in, if for some reason it stops working, then you need to change up completely the whole light. That's the only negative that I can personally think of. The battery itself is really well protected and the whole product really seems high quality, so I really doubt that we are going to have any battery problems. I hope that I'm going to be using the C100 for many years to come. If you have spotted anything negative, then please let me know down below. Also, let me know down below what you think of all these photographs and all these videos that you just saw in this video. Please let me know what you think of this light, if you have anything similar or if you plan on invest on something like that. I will have links for everything down below. If you're new here and you like photography or videography of any kind, basically we're doing everything over here in this channel. So yeah, please subscribe or even like this video. This really helps out with the algorithm. And yeah, I think that's everything that I have to say for today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your valuable time by watching my content. This really means the world to me. My battery is about to die. So yeah, this is where I'm going to leave you. See you next time. Take care. Peace.